beyond your conditions, your decisions, even more than your conditions, ultimately determines the outcome of your life. Now, the truth is that conditions, unfortunately, can tell. It can put a dent on your destiny. If you have a negative condition, most times it can have an effect on you. But I've discovered in studying scripture and in learning from minds that have made impact, especially the kingdom's way, that your decisions more than your conditions determine ultimately the outcomes of your destiny. That means a man who has a negative condition, a condition that should by default lead to failure, lead to defeat, lead to spiritual decline, if that man understands the power of quality word compliant decisions, that person is able to veto that unfavorable condition and eventually emerge and build a destiny that brings glory to the Lord. Your decisions more than your conditions decide the quality of your life. I learned this from Dr. Murdock many years ago, that decisions decide destiny. It is true. Sounds very childish, sounds like rhetorics, just sounds like a play of words, but the power in these words will only be understood as you grow. Decisions decide destiny. God can will for you a destiny of beauty and grace and glory and color, and in truth he does. Jeremiah 29:11, I know the thoughts that I think towards you, said the Lord, they are thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. God desires a great life. John 10:10, I am come that ye may have life, and that you have that life more abundantly. So if in the mind of God, every one of us, you and I, as a global family, as individuals, as a community, as a nation, as a continent, in God's preordination, he's designed for us a life of grace, a life of glory, a life of dignity, a life of beauty, a life of color. But now, whether you will step into the reality of prophecy is not just dependent on the will of God, it's dependent among many other factors on your power to choose. If God says yes and you say no, he will respect your no. Every decision, good or bad, is connected to a consequence. The word consequence simply means a corresponding outcome. So that every decision in life, in destiny, spiritually, financially, maritally, educationally, and otherwise, is connected to a consequence. Now, you are given the power to choose, but you do not choose the consequences that follow. Every decision by default is connected to a consequence. The decisions themselves decide the consequences that follow.